Okay, well, I'm gonna do this all in one take, hopefully. I wanted to make a video with like a higher budget and, you know, like all edited and stuff to make that real YouTube content. But I came into an interesting situation. So basically, this is my review of my Zenbook 13. The product name is the UX325, and it sucks. It really sucks, and I was kind of stuck with it for a while, but I struck some gold, and I was given an exception to return this piece of garbage past the return range. So shout out to Gloria from Newegg for being a real one and making an exception. So this is a video explaining why this is the biggest piece of crap I ever spent my money on. And like I said, yeah, I wanted to make this like a cool YouTube video, but no time because I gotta return it soon. Okay, so number one. It sucks because I'm doing this with a front-facing camera, but oh well. Let me just get out of that screen. All right, so it has an OLED screen, which is so cool. Like, it seems like it's gonna be cool, but OLED screens are overrated. Unless they're a high quality, and I'm just looking up because I'm reading off like a little bullet pointed list I wrote down. So don't mind me. So OLED screens are pretty overrated. Unless they're a high quality, they're gonna hurt your eyes after extended use because of pulse width modulation flickering. And you can even like test this on your own if you have an OLED device. Take your iPhone's slow motion camera and record it on your OLED screen, and you can see like these like lines like that kind of pop up. So yeah, and like just like actual productivity, like working on this is just impossible. It feels like my eyesight was just getting worse the more I used it. So yeah, most of the Zenbooks didn't originally have an OLED screen, but I think in 2021, ASUS rolled out a wave of Zenbooks with these, and this is one of them. It's a 13-inch model. Yeah, it looks pretty professional. It looks pretty good, but there's a whole lot of bad that's just all disguised under here. So yeah, number one is that OLED screen, pretty overrated. I don't recommend. LCD is the way to go. Number two, the cramped keyboard. So yeah, I can show you right here. Oh, and don't mind the lighting option. Our lighting configuration's not that great. So if you can see here, there's an extra range of page up, page down buttons you got on the right side of the keyboard. And it's super useless because, let me see, in an already small chassis, you're already decreasing the horizontal range you get. So you're having really bad key travel. It's not comfortable to type on at all. So yeah, even those with small hands, you know, Mr. Number 45 would have a hard time with this one. Number three, there's no mute button on the on the keyboard, which is an essential. Nobody should have the entitlement to let any random noise affect their Zoom or Skype call. And even though there are like those like mute mic button options in those programs, what if like there's a program that doesn't have the mute button, but a single, you know, tactile button on the keyboard is all it takes to blanket the sounds of your immigrant family, rather than like, you know, moving your mouse in a panic. Number four, there's no headphone jack. There is no headphone jack on the ASUS Zenbook 13. Those are the port selections. I'm charging it right now. But yeah, there's no headphone jack. And I even went through the liberty of getting a headphone to USB Type-C just for this. But, I mean, come on. Like, the headphone jack is here to stay. Unless, like, the iPhone gets USB Type-C charging and then USB Type-C headphones are the thing. But even still, like, iPhone users can just use AirPods. And, I don't know, using AirPods on a laptop, a little annoying sometimes. Number five, it's not a touchscreen. I mean, what can I say? It's a glossy finish on this laptop. Let me just bring it over here. It's a glossy finish on the screen, so you kind of expect that it'd be, you know, touchscreen, especially for one that's marketed as like a thin and light laptop in 2021. Number six, And this is just like a personal preference. There's a small screen, 13 inches. Like, what can you even do on that? I mean, it's just personal, but I just think it's annoying for multitasking. Okay, number 7, I think. I don't know. I'm losing track already. Under the Zenbook, there's one grill, and oh, I don't want to drop it. There's another. Those are the only speakers you get on this laptop. Downward facing speakers on a laptop. And, you know, engineers don't really have to do too much head scratching or brain work to figure this one out. Speakers away from the user equals bad sound. Speakers pointing towards users equals good sound. I can hear better. Yeah, so, you know, why would the ground need to hear anything? Number something. This is just like a dumb thing. Google Chrome signing. I was having like a lot of like software issues, just like endless crashing on this thing. Sometimes when I started up, the BIOS came up, and I'm assuming this is just with my model of the Zenbook, because this is actually an open box I bought from Newegg. Should have known what I was getting into with that. But yeah, probably like some software issues I could probably solve by just reinstalling Windows, but I mean, if I'm spending $1,000 on a laptop, I don't want to do that all on my end. Okay, so BIOS randomly appears. Oh my god, my ASUS. So they're, instead of having a button for, you know, muting your mic, they have a button for, let's see, pulling up the god-awful my ASUS software. Every laptop manufacturer wants to have their own, like, bloatware just to, like, manage, like, devices and whatnot. And oh my god, I wouldn't even press this, and this would just pop up randomly every time without fail. Like 30 minutes into just, you know, typing on a document, boom, this pops up. And I don't know if you can see because it's reversed, but it says some functions cannot be used. Please restart the application or the computer. And yeah, I've definitely tried that, and definitely doesn't fix it. All right. It also, the laptop also overheats like the 9th circle of hell. And that overheating bleeds into the keyboard. The keyboard becomes a nice, warm typing experience. And those Galaxy Brain engineers thought it'd also be a great idea, let me see if I can get it, to get the fan exhaust output to point directly onto the screen. So like, man. So they thought that would be a good idea. See your plastic bottom of the chin of the screen, it's nice and toasty. Next on the list, the laptop has like a loose hinge. It's not that loose. I mean, a little bit. Especially when like you move it around. And for having that, I think it was called the MTG military standard. It's kind of annoying when you expect to like move around with this. Sometimes just like dropping it into your lap with momentum just like moves the screen back all of a sudden. Pretty annoying. There's no full-size left and right arrow keys. Oh my god, there's so many problems with this keyboard, I swear. Yeah, like, what is with that extra space? Might as well just be using that, you know? Really didn't have to make... They just decided to make it as worse of an experience as possible. What else? Oh, this is an ASUS thing. Actually, not even ASUS. I think Acer laptops do this as well. There's a power button on the keyboard. Just totally convenient so that when you're, you know, typing, you want to hit the delete key. Oh, sorry. Rebooted the computer. Put it to sleep. And not only that, they went through the extra effort of sacrificing an insert key. So there's a delete key, but to press insert, you have to press FN, which, you know, most people don't really use insert, but there's like some programs that require that, not necessarily just for insert within text, but insert with, you know, different types of software. So that's pretty annoying. What else? So yeah, power button on the keyboard, no separate delete and insert button. Oh, and no separate physical webcam camera cover. Lenovo actually has those where you can like physically move the camera instead of, you know, being a boomer and putting a sticky note on your camera. But, you know, that doesn't seem like it's patented by Lenovo or anything. So it also doesn't seem super hard to implement. So having a little plastic cover built into the laptop would be nice. There's no fingerprint scanner on this laptop. That's pretty nitpicky. I mean, it's not an essential by any means, but it's better than that Windows Hello CIA garbage. Just, you know, collect everyone's facial data. The touchpad is pretty annoying. It's wide, and if you can, let me hold this screen. It's off center, so when you're typing symmetrically with both your hands, your right palm will rest on the touchpad, which is pretty annoying. Thankfully, the palm detection is pretty good, but you can't lie that it is pretty annoying to have a palm just like on the touchpad. Hey, but you can get used to it, I guess. And another thing is that I guess this might be just mine, again, just my model, but the Wi-Fi never stays connected. Probably an issue with the Wi-Fi adapter. It keeps connecting and disconnecting. It'll say it's connected, but internet won't work. And yes, I installed the drivers. I'm just grateful that I'm gonna be able to return this. Okay, so it's already 11 minutes. I was just rambling at this point. I just wish this was a little more, you know, focused on the laptop. So the good things about this laptop, so you know I'm not drunk off of that haterade. It's a clamshell laptop, which is good. But for a clamshell, you know, it's pretty light and portable. I think it's only 2.5 pounds, which is pretty decent, but you know, when you're getting a 13-inch, it's what you should expect. So, you know, USB Type-C charging, I can't really show it. That right there. USB Type-C charging is always pretty nice, you know, this universality, or making universal chargers would just be a nice world to live in. And there's also a HDMI port on a 13-inch, which is pretty nice.